Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at how Arsenal could line up with Gabriel, Saliba and Willian in the team. How Arsenal could line up with Gabriel, Saliba and Willian in the team. Now, of course, Saliba joined us last season, but he was taken out on loan to Saint Etienne and to get some experience one more year, but he's now back in the team. He's now part of Arsenal once again. Willian completed his move from, it was a free deal. He left Chelsea earlier this month, but has now joined Arsenal on a 3-year deal. He's going to play anywhere in midfield. And Gabriel from Lille could join us anytime next week, so you could hear him announced in the next 5 to 7 days. So with these three fresh players in the squad, how could Arsenal line up with them? How is Arteta going to use them in the team? Which kind of formation is going to suit these players? Of course, for now, I'm going to be focusing on the players we currently have and these new signings. Of course, Gabriel hasn't signed yet. Magalhaes hasn't signed yet. People like Lacazette, we're not sure if they're going to be here. But for now, I'm just going to be focusing on those players who are here without bothering on who's going to come next and who's going to leave. Of course, the main point of this video is just to focus on Saliba, Gabriel, and Willian. So yeah, I'm going to be discussing how we could line up with them in the squad, how Arteta could use them. So before I get into that, as I've said, Gabriel could join us anytime next week for a fee of around £25 million. So he could be a good signing for us. Saliba, another defender. We know we need a lot of defenders next season. We have a bunch of defenders, but quality-wise, I don't really think so. So I'm expecting most of them to leave. And up front, of course, we lacked an attacking midfielder for the entire season. Ozil has said he's going to stay, but I don't know how he's going to be used in this team. But for now, let me just get into how Arsenal could line up with Gabriel, Saliba, and Willian in the team. So as I've said, I'm just going to be focusing on the current players we have. We're not sure whether Magalhaes is going to be here next season, but I'm still going to include him. We still don't know if Lacazette is going to be here. We don't know who's going to start between Leno and Martinez. When Pablo Mari is fit, is he going to be a starter on the bench? When Martinelli is fit, is he going to be a starter? What happens to Saka next season? The other young players, Willocks, Nelsons, Niles, what happens to them? But we're just going to be focusing on the current players we have and mostly on Saliba, Willian, and if Gabriel is going to sign. So when Arteta joined the team, he used a back four, but after some time he could easily tell that the players we had could not fit that formation. Playing a back four and you have low quality defenders, to be fair, Luis, Mustafi, people who are always making mistakes and stuff, and having Kolasinac as a left back, making him defend all the time against the likes of Traore and Salah, it just doesn't fit Arsenal. And I did a video talking about why the 3-4-1-2 formation suits us better, or you can call it 3-4-3. I'll link it up in the YouTube card right now. And I said one of the reasons was because our defenders are not of the top quality, so you can't just have 2 center backs there unless they are of the top quality. You need 3 to help each other out. In case one makes a mistake, there's still 2 covering. In case one goes forward, there's still 2 covering. Instead, in case one moves to the right side, you still have 2 covering. And the second reason was because our wing backs prefer attacking rather than defending. Bellerin, Kolasinac, Cedric, Saka, Etienne, they all prefer attacking, so it just suits us better playing a 3-4-1-3, but 3-4-1-2, sorry, but that depends on who Arteta signs next season. You could have the players to actually play a back four, and we turned to a 3-4-3 when during the second half of the Southampton game. He played Etienne, Luis, Mustafi. Socrates wasn't really favored. That's what we used to go for a lot. When Etienne played as a left back, we used to have Pablo Mari in the first game against City before he got injured. So you could easily tell that that formation suits us definitely. So in case Gabriel joins Saliba at the back, who could we play? We could obviously play Leno in goal, but as the back three, we could play Luis, Gabriel on the left side, and Saliba on the right side. But he could also go for Pablo Mari instead of Luis if he wants to go for young defenders, young raw defenders, the new defenders that we have, Gabriel, Saliba, and Pablo Mari. But for me, that also, if there are 3, I'm okay with it. But in a 2, I'm not quite sure until they get some experience in England. So we might end up needing Luis to help these players with experience. But in a 3-4-3, we could have Saliba, Pablo Mari and Gabriel without any problem. Gabriel could play in the middle of the three. Pablo Mari could play in the middle of the three. So it will be interesting to see. Of course, we'll have Etienne on the left side, Bellerin on the right side, and then Xhaka, Ceballos in the middle. And then up front to another new signing, Willian. It's interesting to see whether Martinelli is going to be fancied next season. Of course, he has an injury until like December. What happens to Lacazette? What happens to Nketiah? But for me, I'll include Willian, Pepe, and Aubameyang. Now, in a 3-4-3 formation, you could have Aubameyang up front and Willian behind him and Pepe behind him. Pepe on the right, Willian on the left. Or you could play with two strikers and one creative midfielder, having Aubameyang as a center striker with Pepe and Willian in behind them. Now, we saw Pepe playing as a striker for Lille a couple of times and he scored a bunch of goals, got in behind the defenders, got one-on-one chances against the goalkeeper. So that could work for us. But for me, if Lacazette stays at Arsenal, for me, he has to start. So I'm not really keen on this formation. We have to find a way to play a back four next season, just so we could fit enough attacking players in the team. But it also depends on what kind of fixture we have. If you're playing against City away or Barcelona away when you're back in the Champions League, or Bayern Munich away, hopefully get back to the Champions League soon, then we could have a back three or a back five. You need to adapt to the kind of game we are playing, or make the changes according to the team we are playing. So that is the 3-4-3 formation. Let me now take a look at the 4-2-3-1 formation. So for me, I'd prefer the 4-2-3-1 formation next season. I hope Arteta buys the players who can fit this formation in terms of strength and stamina and playing for 90 minutes and keep on pressing and all that. Etienne has proven that he can play as a left wing back, left back easily. Bellerin hopefully can still play as the right back, play well as the right back. So with the 4-2-3-1 formation, you could have Bellerin on the right, Etienne on the left, and Gabriel and Saliba in the middle. Although I've said that worries me a bit because they don't have that experience playing in England against this the likes of Kane, Firmino, these strikers in England. But for a formation like this, I'm assuming you're playing against teams like Southampton, Aston Villa. No disrespect to them, the Brightons at home. You can go for a back four with Saliba and Gabriel in the middle. We've seen Gabriel has some strength. He has the ability. Gabriel also has the body for it. He has the body for defending and the pace and everything. So he could easily slot into that position. And then in the two middle players, in the middle positions, you could have Xhaka and Ceballos, and then in front of them, Pepe, Willian, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. Now, for these four players, you could have any kind of rotation there. You could have Pepe on the right, Aubameyang on the left, Willian in the middle, and Lacazette up front. Or you could end up having someone like Aubameyang up front, Lacazette as the number 10, Willian on the left, Pepe on the right. You could also have this, my preferred one, Pepe as the number 10, Lacazette up front, Aubameyang on the left, and Willian on the right. So there could be a lot of rotation. And with these four players up front, if everyone is performing and everyone is at the top of their game, you could see a bunch of goals being scored from any of them. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Willian creating, Pepe creating. Sometimes both of them can shoot from outside the box, so you could see goals going in. So what we need to sort out first is the defense. So with Saliba and Gabriel, you could play a back two, you could play a back three. Gabriel could be the center of the back three, could be on the left side, depending on what fixture we are playing. Saliba comes straight to the team. He was a very, very good defender where he was at Saint Etienne. Willian, I think it definitely slots straight into our team, unless we end up buying 2 or 3 more players, midfielders and defenders. Of course, we could still have Partey in between there in the middle, maybe for Ceballos if he doesn't sign for Arsenal. We could end up seeing Martinez instead of Leno. We could see Lacazette going and Aubameyang being up front and Saka on the left. So you could see a lot of changes there. Could still sign a couple of players that could fit us perfectly, but I really hope Arteta signs players who fit at the 4-2-3-1 formation and the 3-4-3 formation. Really depends on him. But for me, I'd go for that 4-2-3-1 with Leno, Bellerin, Saliba, Gabriel, Etienne, Xhaka, Ceballos, Pepe, Willian, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. And when we're playing a tough fixture, just turn it to a back three, have Pablo Mari there too. So, yeah, he could also do this. He could also decide to have Saliba on the bench or Gabriel on the bench and play Pablo Mari and Luis and someone else just to help those players adapt fast to England. We saw that with Soyuncu at Leicester. He didn't come straight to the Leicester team. He waited for Maguire to leave the next season and then he slotted straight into that squad. So it is interesting to see how he does. Many cups to play next season: FA Cup, Carabao, Europa League. So it will be interesting to see. Let me know in the comment section what formation you prefer for next season: a back four or a back three. Would you have Willian starting for Arsenal, or would you have him playing from the bench? What happens to Saliba and Gabriel? Do you partner them together, or do you play one of them on the bench and have Luis in the starting lineup? Do you still want another defender, another centre-back to be signed, even if you sign Gabriel and have him with Saliba and Pablo Mari? Do you still need another defender? Let me know all those things in the comment section. So Willian is an Arsenal player, Saliba is an Arsenal player, Gabriel could join us in the next couple of days. Interesting to see how the transfer window goes. Raul left Arsenal the other day, so we might not see the likes of Coutinho coming, depending on whether he was the key figure in helping Coutinho come into Arsenal. So really interesting times at Arsenal, a lot of off-field problems. Ozil is still in the squad. Will he be a member of the squad? So just let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks for watching again. I think I just hit 3K subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.